The wind howls across a frozen world. Every breath steals a little more warmth from your body. Everyone knows what it feels like to be cold. The longer it lasts, the less you think about anything else. You just want to get warm. The Ice Age was one of the harshest environments humans have ever lived through. Winter lasted for months. The landscape offered almost nothing to eat. The cold never seemed to end. Most of us would struggle to survive a single freezing night without modern technology. Ice Age humans survived thousands of them. How? Tonight, imagine the power goes out. No furnace. No electric blanket. Just a small campfire outside your home. It sounds uncomfortable, but if you could keep that fire burning, you'd probably survive the night, right? For most of us, that's the obvious answer. Ancient humans survived winter because they had fire. Mystery solved. Except there's a problem. Imagine you're ancient human. You wake before sunrise. The fire's burning nicely. Great. Now you're hungry, so you grab your spear and leave to hunt. The moment you walk away, your only source of warmth stays behind. And it gets worse. Every hour you spend collecting wood is an hour you're not hunting. Every hour you spend hunting is an hour the fire is slowly dying. The fire can't follow you. You have to keep coming back to it. Suddenly, the question isn't, can fire keep you warm? Of course it can. The real question is, could a fire keep you alive when you couldn't stay beside it? When archaeologists looked at Ice Age settlements, from Kostenki in western Russia to caves across Europe, they found plenty of fireplaces. But they also found something strange. People clearly weren't spending every minute sitting beside them. So if fire wasn't enough, what was? Maybe that's all ancient humans had, a fire at night and a thick animal skin during the day. It sounds reasonable until archaeologists started uncovering something far more sophisticated. In Denisova Cave in Siberia, researchers discovered an incredibly delicate bone needle dating back roughly 50,000 years, complete with a tiny drilled eye for thread. Not an awl for punching holes, a real sewing needle, and it wasn't the only one. Over the last few decades, archaeologists have uncovered similar-eyed bone needles at Ice Age sites across Europe and Asia, showing that sewing wasn't unusual. It was becoming part of everyday survival. That changes the picture completely. A loose animal hide keeps you warm only while you stand still. The moment you walk, cold air rushes underneath it. But a stitched coat hugs your body. It traps a layer of warm air next to your skin. Instead of carrying your warmth in your hands, you could wear it. For the first time, people weren't just surviving beside the fire. They could take their warmth with them. Warm clothes can protect you from the cold. They can't stop a blizzard. So where did people hide when the Ice Age itself came crashing in? Maybe that's why ancient humans stayed close to caves. It seems like the obvious answer. And in some places, they probably did. But much of Ice Age Europe wasn't covered in forests or caves. Large stretches were open grasslands where mammoths, horses, and bison roamed. If people wanted to follow those animals, they often had to leave natural shelter behind. So, what happened then? In 1965, a farmer in central Ukraine was digging a cellar for his new house when his shovel struck something enormous. It wasn't a rock, it was the jawbone of a mammoth. Archaeologists were called to investigate. At first, they expected to uncover the remains of an ancient hunting site. Instead, they found something far stranger. The site, now known as Mezhirich, contained huge circles built from mammoth bones. Not a few bones, hundreds of them. Massive skulls, curved tusks, jaw bones, shoulder blades, leg bones. All carefully arranged into circular structures around 5 meters across. Inside those circles were hearths where fires had once burned. Outside were pits used for storage and rubbish. This wasn't where people butchered mammoths. It was where they lived. Researchers believe the enormous bones formed the framework of the shelters, while thick animal hides were stretched across them, trapping warm air inside as the heavy bones held everything steady against the fierce Ice Age winds. People hadn't simply found shelter. They had built it, using the very animals that helped them survive. But warmth means very little. There's nothing left to eat. Maybe that's why Ice Age people hunted mammoths. One successful hunt could feed an entire group. It sounds like the perfect solution, until you remember one problem. A mammoth doesn't volunteer, hunts failed, animals moved. And winter doesn't pause while you wait for another chance. So how did people survive when food was running out? Around 30,000 years ago, people living at Dolní Věstonice, in what is now the Czech Republic, left behind thousands of animal bones. When zoo archaeologists studied them, something stood out. The long bones hadn't simply been discarded after meals. Many had been deliberately smashed apart while they were still fresh. Not by accident. On purpose. Because hidden inside those heavy bones was bone marrow. Rich in fat. Packed with calories. Today, marrow is considered a delicacy in some restaurants. For Ice Age people, it may have been the difference between life and death. We think meat is the most valuable part of an animal. But during an Ice Age winter, fat may have mattered even more. Your body burns enormous amounts of energy, just trying to stay warm. Lean meat alone isn't enough. You need calories, lots of them. And marrow delivered exactly that. Those shattered mammoth bones scattered across ancient camps didn't look like rubbish anymore. They looked like careful survival. That solves today's problem. But tomorrow, the fire will need more wood. The shelter will need repairs. The hunt begins again. Clothes wear out. Children still need feeding. Winter doesn't care that you're tired. There is simply too much to do. Could one person possibly survive the Ice Age alone? Some problems can't be solved alone. In 1968, archaeologists began excavating a newly discovered Ice Age site in southern Poland called Kraków-Spadzista. What they uncovered surprised them. The remains of more than 100 mammoths lay scattered across the site, alongside tens of thousands of stone tools used to butcher, skin, and process the animals. Researchers still debate exactly how every mammoth ended up there. Some may have been hunted. Others may have been scavenged. But one thing is difficult to ignore. Processing animals on this scale wasn't the work of one person, or even one family. Skinning them, removing tons of meat, breaking open bones for marrow, carrying hides, making use of every part before winter or hungry predators claimed it first. But to hunt the mammoths, transport the bones, stretch the hides, keep the fires burning and prepare food, repair clothing, and do it all again tomorrow. The biggest Ice Age discovery isn't a tool, or a weapon, or even a shelter. It's a realization. No single survival trick was enough. Surviving the Ice Age doesn't look like the work of one extraordinary human. It looks like the work of an extraordinary group. So how did ancient humans really survive the deadly Ice Age? It wasn't because of one brilliant invention. Every new problem demanded another solution. Fire, then clothing, then shelter, then food, then each other. Not one miracle, a chain of adaptations. The Ice Age wasn't simply a test of endurance, it was a test of adaptation. And in the end, adaptation turned out to be humanity's greatest survival tool.